professional.
Thank you.
So,
Should we go 3, 2, 1 action?
3, 2, 1 action. First time I ever really knew that I wanted to make video games was when I was messing around with iDVD on my parents' Mac, and I imported some sketches I'd done of like, they were sort of, you know, just like, I'd drawn some dragons and I'd done up health bars and stuff like that.
I originally got into gaming with when I was really young because my parents bought me a PlayStation and I started playing Ratchet and Clank, and we used to have one of the very first Jurassic Park games, The Lost World, and I started getting addicted to those because of my interest, you know, just for the genres in it. I started picking up more, you know, hardcore games. I started playing Halo on the PC, as I didn't have an Xbox until much later. I was never really one for Call of Duty or anything like that, but I played a lot of Halo. Halo was sort of the inspiration behind me wanting to make, you know, more gamey type games. My dad used to let me play Halo, and that's when my fixation with the first-person shooter genre kind of took off, and I've been playing a lot of games since then. I also have an interest into tabletop gaming, which they kind of move into each other, which helped kind of further focus my interest into this genre. My first Xbox game was Bioshock, and it was probably, I think it's still safe to say that it's my favorite game of all time. It inspired me so much that I wanted to make a Bioshock sort of fan game, and it helped me expand how I was going about making games, because at that point I had, like, you know, a couple years earlier discovered Game Maker, but it wasn't really fulfilling what I needed it to fulfill. And that's how I stumbled into Unreal Engine, because it was the same engine they used to make Bioshock. So that was really, that was a huge step for me, because it sort of it helped me take the plunge into the third dimension with my games. When I went into grade 8, I went and met up with the other kids who had similar interests to me into gaming. This brought me into contact with Dakota, Jared, who at the time were thinking of creating their own little game development. Dakota was talking about the zombie game, and I'd always loved creating stuff. Like, ever since I was a kid, although I was never really good at like the piece of shit drawers, stuff like that, but I just loved the concept of creating stuff and seeing stuff come to life, and game development sounded like a really, really fun idea. And so when I heard Jared and Dakota were doing it, I got really excited. I thought, well, maybe I should try doing that. I just sort of messed around with the engine, played around with some Halo models I downloaded. I was learning a bit of scripting through Pokemon hacking, and I never really thought of trying to make my own full game until a couple of years later. But then, once I heard Jared got fired, Dakota told me it was too hard for me to even pick up. So I thought, okay, well, if obviously he's saying this, it's probably true. And then one day, Dakota just invited me over to his house, and I said, do you mind just like teaching me a little bit of basics? And apparently, according to Dakota, I picked up it actually really fast. It's almost second nature to me, you know, using Unreal Engine or 3ds Max. But the people I was around, because I was a really young age for what I was doing. It was weird, because like, I'd been exposed to all of this, all of these development techniques, and the closest thing these guys had been to making games was using the Forge mode on Halo, which was with Jared Anderson, and we decided to develop this game called Frozen Hell, which was originally a first-person shooter about penguins killing demons. It was insane, but still pretty good, and that's kind of my background and how I came into the game development era. And from there, I kind of left Jared and joined up with Dakota. The two of us decided to make this game called Frozen Hell, which again never came to pass, but it was the start of a wonderful friendship.
Times were tough, so I sold my soul. And I don't think I'll ever regain control. Devil looked me in the eye and I looked the other way. What else could I do? I
first sort of game title that we wanted to make was called Velociraptor Awareness Day, based on the pseudo-holiday Velociraptor Awareness Day. And the idea of the game was that you played as a citizen, sort of boarding your house up.
Top-down shooter.
It's a top-down shooter, sort of like Hotline Miami, but you're attacked by dinosaurs.
With cloaking fields.
Yeah, they had cloaking devices for whatever reason.
Yes. This kind of eventuated into Prehistoric Swarm for it, because that love of dinosaurs kind of brought this game together. And Prehistoric Swarm, if you're ever familiar with the concept of Primal Carnage, a fast-paced dinosaur versus human shooting team, but with our version was to have much more complex team-integrated battle systems.
We were going for a much more strategic-based gameplay rather than the run-and-gun nature of Primal Carnage. Something more along the lines of, I'm trying to think of, something more along the lines of Orion Dino Horde, but with sort of the core mechanics of Primal Carnage.
Yeah, we had mutated dinosaurs that could do all kind of wacky stuff.
Oh, the Coelophysis.
And this kind of new development led us to our very kind of conflicts. We learned our pros of working together. We learned kind of pros of him was that he could act, he knew what he was doing. He was able to get an idea across, and he had an understanding of game balance and mechanics.
Pros of Jaden, he's overly creative. Actually, that might be a con, but I'm gonna say it's a pro.
Yeah, I got 1 pro.
I got how many did I get?
3.
Anyway, but
this kind of led to our first conflicts.
Yeah, the biggest con we sort of realized was that we're both super creative people. And that's both a blessing and a curse. It's blessing because we were able to come up with, fun,
new
sort
ideas,
of out there game designs. The problem was we both sort of had different ways of representing these.
Dakota had ways of he was more familiar with the gameplay mechanics at the first than I was, and he was more able to put his ideas into a border of how the game worked. Well, my kind of ideas were hey, let's do this because this sounds fun.
Yeah.
This is cool. I want this in the game. So this kind of led to some of our first conflicts because I'm stubborn as hell.
So I like to refer to whenever anyone asks, what was the first fight you guys had making a game? The first one I can really think of was the Pyroraptor. Jaden had the idea for a class of Velociraptor that in the game that would set on fire and spit fire at people, basically. Yeah, and I thought that was redonkulous. I don't know why I did. I think it's freaking awesome right now, but back then I thought it was the stupidest thing I ever heard. And I said, Jaden, why do you want that in the game?
And we just fought for this for ages.
I swear this went on for weeks.
It did. It was.
We just
it
be
was crazy.
We'd be walking back to school and we'd be just so Jaden, can we not have the Pyroraptor? And then you'd go on no, the Pyroraptor's cool, it sets on fire.
Yeah, you had to add all this to the game. What other game has a dinosaur?
Basically, your list was just, it sets on fire.
Yeah.
Why does that add to the gameplay or mechanics? Because it sets on fire.
Think about this.
Think about this, guys. It sets on fire.
Yeah, so that kind of Prehistoric Swarm kind of went down. We just had too many kind of
It's true.
Oh, what do we have? We have a trailer which we can show some footage of. But we just had 2 men. I didn't know too much, and he knew, and it was just all this crazy stuff. So that went down, and then it kind of got revived.
We took it into a much smaller space because the original idea was to have sort of open world multiplayer, which.
Wait, that's yeah.
The original idea was to have open world multiplayer, which we brought down into a much smaller scale because, it's easier to balance a first-person shooter again versus dinosaurs on a small scale. The trouble here was we pretty much was remaking Primal Carnage, but with, graphics made by 16-year-olds.
So we kind of dropped that idea and went for a very ambitious new look to Prehistoric.
At this point, we sort of took a turn for the worse with our ambition at least. It was the first time I ever played Amnesia, and I got this massive drive to make horror games. So I learned C++, I learned how to use OpenGL, I learned some GLSL.
There we go.
And I made myself a little horror game engine. For something I made, I was very proud of it, and it was very good for something I made.
It was called Lunacy.
It was called Lunacy.
Meanwhile, I'm out of the picture at this point. This is.
Jaden's just like over in the corner saying, hey, can you send me the dinosaur model? Please?
Please,
like,
let me
I'm
read
modeling
it.
horror game stuff, Jaden. Leave me alone.
So we were losing our ambitions to work together and to even make a game.
Because it sort of got to the point where Jaden was like wanting to make this dinosaur game, and I was just sort of not. I wasn't feeling it working as a team. It just wasn't really happening.
And like I was getting really depressed at school. Like just things that weren't just going right.
Oh, teenage life.
Just things like we're two teenagers working on this game, making bigger commitments to relationships that you adults have.
What's a relationship?
You'll learn about it when you're older.
Jaden was going through relationships like I go through pancakes. And
so
unfortunately most of them were burnt.
So yeah, we were losing a lot of ambition for our game, and just our motivation was really lacking. And then I didn't know anything. And then I remember this is basically the day that changed our lives. I was depressed as shit one night, and I have this picture on my, whenever I get depressed, it's like the signal for Dakota to come help me. When I get depressed on Skype, there is this picture, it should be on the screen now, that says, fuck everything. And it's just all these missiles flying everywhere.
So I decided, because I had a fresh install of Unreal Engine, I decided, you know what, let's alter the rocket launcher that comes with the Unreal Tournament demo that you're free to sort of switch up and everything. And I made that thing fire unlimited rockets at high velocity.
You did it to cheer me up, just like...
I did it just to cheer him up.
And then we both had this kind of like brainwave that said, wait a minute, we can make
a game out of this.
It wasn't even meant to be a game. It was like Dakota came up to me and said, I could teach you.
It's on screen right now.
Yeah, that. Shh, we'll get to that. It's a big reveal. He said to me, I can teach you. It could be a little tutorial. Like, I can teach you how to do weapons. I could teach you about vehicles. I could teach you about map design, and we could get you up to the status quo of how being a development. And then I got excited, and then we had all this like ideas of like what should the game be. And then I at the time had this wacky idea, this concept that I came up with called Jaden Inc. It wasn't even anything. It was just basically me being an idiot saying, hey, there's millions of clones of me down there in the center of the earth. And Dakota
I had the brilliant idea of naming the game after him.
That's the funny part. Jaden Inc. is not created. The idea of Jaden Inc.
The game is not even made by him. He didn't even come up with the concept. I did.
He came up with the concept for Jaden Inc. And then I just like went, and I said like,
he's just like, we're gonna make a game about me, and this shit's gonna be amazing.
I'm like, we need these weapons. And I started like writing.
And I'm just like, Jaden, no. We need to keep this to a minimum.
So the original idea was one map, kind of like a Blood Gulch ripoff from Halo.
Blood Gulch with trees.
Yeah, with trees.
Blood Gulch with trees.
Five weapons.
Foliage.
The FE, Gag, Beck. No, not even the Buck was in that. No,
Buck wasn't even a thing.
It was the FE, Gag, Spear, Spectrum, and the Decimator, which isn't in the game. You'll find out later. And a vehicle. Which is in the game, you'll find out later.
And so we had this idea. We wanted to make this game, and we had like, you know, let's like I'm not too bad with 3D modeling. We can get this done in like a couple weeks. But just to be on the safe side, I'll see if I can get my friend to do some 3D modeling for us. And you're trying not to crack a smile because this is where the story goes all the way down. So I enlisted the help of my friend Griffin, who was a friend of mine I had through a community at the time I was part of that I'm not all that proud of anymore. We're not even going to talk about that, are we? But nevertheless, I met this friend through an online community, and we sort of got talking like, hey, would you be able to help us out with this stuff? Because, you know, you're a 3D modeler, you do 3D animations and stuff. Could you do some, could you like model some vehicles and stuff for us? And he says, sure.
Yeah, and we ended up with Dakota modeling the weapons, and Griffin just did some art assets, and I learned how to program. I started learning how to map design, and that's how, and like we were like on a high, like, and then Griffin said, dudes, we should make a proper, if we're becoming a company, we're going to be called Torlox.
Well, I think I came up with the name.
Oh, one of them came to the name. I have nothing to do with it.
The name Torlox comes from the Greek word 300, which it's derived from the Greek word tau, which means 300, which sort of symbolized the three of us working together, and then 100.
300 when we hired them.
300 divided by 100, when I'm hoping Lox means like divided by 100 or something like that.
So
that's the old name.
So we were on a bit of a roll. Like we were just going. I was programming. I'm like, I got this gun done. Here you go. I've got this model. You rig this up. You do this. You do that. We kept going and going, and then eventually, we had this. Well, I should also mention that the game went from being a tutorial to a much bigger, ambitious scale.
It actually
it wasn't too ambitious.
It's probably more ambitious what we ended up releasing, but the game ended up as being it went up from 1 map to 5. It went from 5 weapons to 9. 8 weapons. 1 vehicle to 5 vehicles. 1 game mode to 3.
Deathmatch, capture the flag, Jaden Shed.
Jaden Shed was not the game mode.
Oh, well,
it was territories.
Yeah.
So it went up to, and then we had the zombies mode as well.
Yeah. So even that.
We even had a zombies mode in it,
which was kind of like Aliens anyway.
Basically, yeah. It was like kind of like Call of Duty Zombies, but
yeah, basically something like that.
A bit more.
And we were like, because we smacked out our very first launch trailer, which we'll be playing now.
I think in the background.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. A launch trailer, which we'll show on screen now.
It's playing in the background.
So yeah, after we got that out, we were feeling stoked.
We were ready to go. Like 8 weeks, we've got a game that's in a playable state. We made the mistake of. What did we make the mistake of?
Oh, there was many mistakes.
We made many mistakes at that point.
We've gone uphill. We released we even got the Oasis trailer out, which is a new map showcase.
Yeah.
And then Dakota said, "Wait, Primal Carnage's got a map named Oasis."
No, they didn't at that time.
Oh, they announced it, remember?
No, it was that was announced way later. It was
okay,
it was Orion called Oasis.
Oh.
We said we changed the name to Evergreen.
So we changed the name to Evergreen, and
we ended up getting it. Oh, now I see what we're getting into. No, it's cool. This dog's outside. But we ended up I'd been playing a lot of Primal Carnage at that point because it had just come out, and I love the art style of it, like especially the foliage, the way they'd done it. So I sort of redid Oasis, which was the main map at the time, into this new map called Evergreen. Which the original idea was that there was going to be 4 sort of desert-themed maps and then Oasis. Oasis was sort of like Oasis, which then got renamed to Evergreen, and it was like sort of a jungly type thing. Then came the worst thing that had ever happened to us. Probably one of the worst things that had ever happened to us. And so long story short. My hard drive, which had been sitting on top of my computer, I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was a cat, I don't know if it was me, I don't know if it was Corey. But it fell off and smashed into the ground. This was the hard drive that had pretty much the entire game on it.
I only had like some code, backup old models, and had like a bit of a rough backup. And Griffin at this point wasn't much doing much.
Oh yeah, this was we forgot to mention. Griffin's gone by now. He's
kind of there. He's kind of there. He's dropping in and out. He's like, yeah, I'll do this, and we're like, and then the crash came, and then we'd also
crash.
And then we also had recently we had to let Griffin just quit because he didn't want to be around anymore. And so
he was severely depressed.
Yeah,
because he was homeless.
No, he depressed because he thought we didn't like him.
Oh.
Yeah, now he's feeling like dicks. I don't want to do this interview anymore, to be honest.
No, it wasn't at that. We still liked him at that point.
Yeah, he just had to go because he wasn't meeting our he wasn't meeting our deadlines.
And he wasn't happy.
He just wasn't happy, and we're like, dude, I think it'll just be we just came to the agreement that, dude, I think you should just go.
we didn't really say it. Like we said, it would probably be best if you probably best for you if you sort of like.
It was his call.
It was his call.
And to make it reinsurance, I used to talk to David Prassel a lot, developer of Orion.
Oh yeah.
And he told me that we did the right thing.
Did he really?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We need to get talking to him again. He's cool.
David Prassel was kind of the developer who like encouraged us.
He is essentially God in my eyes.
He sat down. He often
religious-
told us that our trailers were great. He knew we were young, and he's about 20. And he developed a big.
He's nearly 30.
Well, he was just encouraging us a lot more. So David Prassel kind of was our idol through this, and Jaden Inc. kind of went down from the data crash. Like we once again just lost our kind of motivation, and we were trying to pick up where we kept trying to pick up where we started, but we just couldn't. We had lost too much, and then I said, all right, I'm going to try to pick this up with I think this was after Tooth and Claw was released. Maybe was this after Tooth?
We never really released it. But
it was after.
It did get uploaded.
Well, Tooth and Claw kind of got made. Dakota got lost interest in Jaden Inc. and was like, my turn to go make another game.
I did that a lot when I was younger.
Yeah. If there's a con of Dakota, he likes switching.
I've got the attention span of a gnat.
So he switched to Tooth and Claw, and I was kind of left with Jaden Inc. And I didn't know how to model. I knew bad programming, and I wasn't good at Unreal Engine.
Actually, I think at this point I was just. No. This was shiny hunting. This is when I started playing Pokemon all the time, and I didn't want to make games at that point. I didn't want to do anything because I was going through the data crash and I was not happy with it. So I just sort of.
You kind of gave up.
I gave up on Jaden Inc. completely. I gave up on Torlox, and I just played Pokemon like all the time. That's all I ever did.
Meanwhile, I'm stuck, and
You weren't really making the game though.
I was trying to fix up Convoy.
You were giving it a better go than I was.
I was just trying to go, and then when he moved to Thailand, not moved.
Moved to. I went on holiday.
He went on holiday. He got AIDS in Thailand.
You can't say this.
I can't, can I?
I will sue the shit out of you.
He went to Thailand, and I kind of at this time was talk to Griffin. And I said, dude, you need to help me. We need to get this game. We made it. We've all committed. You've committed to this game.
We've come this far. No data left.
We can't. We've lost data. But if we put our asses in, well, if we kick our asses in the gear.
Put our asses in the gear. We were just
put our asses English into gear.
English. All the news speak.
We can get this out. And he agreed to come back, and he started modeling.
How did you even get in contact with him again?
He's always on my Skype.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, and he
Can you
came
talk
back.
to him now?
No, he doesn't talk to me.
Okay.
But he was also going through a very depressive state, and he was putting all of that kind of like on me. So he was kind of more like saying, "Yes, I will do this." If like he was more like, "Oh, this is wrong in my life."
It was kind of like Jaden was like a counselor for him, but he was paying him in 3D models.
Yeah, kind of like that, and so he made all the models in the game. He got the new vehicle model. We had all the gun models done.
He never sent them.
He never sent them to us, and then he left again. So now we're once again left modelless.
We're left with no 3D artist. Well, no, besides, we had me. That was it, and I'm not good at it. Griffin was playing like he was almost in university and was going to do like a 3D art course.
Griffin had skill.
He was good. He wasn't. He wasn't excellent. But he
wasn't like you're gonna find a AAA, but he was good. Like he would get what you needed him to do.
He did what he needed, but the thing was he just didn't. He vanished, didn't he?
He just kind of it was pretty much, can you send us models? Yeah, I'll send them now. Never came through. Can you send them now? No. And then he just vanished completely. And then he just one day said, "Oh, I'm quitting." Left conversation.
And he never sent us. So then, I was like, fine, I will do this, because I was just like in the pool one day and I'm just like thinking, I should make a first-person shooter. Oh wait, I'm halfway through one of them. Let's do this.
So came Jink redesign.
Jink redesign, as you can actually see in the background again.
And some footage of the Jink redesign comes in.
We're doing this, like, yeah. So basically, 8 months ago. Wow, was it really that long? 8 months ago,
We picked up our computers and we said, You and I.
No, I did. I started doing it without telling you originally.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just remember that. I remember that.
I picked it up like 8 months ago. About it, probably 9 now. About 8 or 9 months ago. I sort of opened up my computer. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to recode these weapons because I want to see how far I can get. So I extracted models from games that I'm not going to disclose now before developers come and like bird dog my Twitter or something.
It's okay, Prassel. You did it to Primal Khans, we can do it to you.
No, he didn't.
You did it to Natural Selection, we can do it to you.
No, he didn't. He just used the design.
You released a buggy game, we can do it to you.
Okay. So essentially what ended up happening was I borrowed a couple of assets from that game that I decompiled them and I replaced them later. But I wanted to see what I could do, so I added in the 2 weapons that we'd always gotten finished, which was the we added 3 weapons in. I added the assault rifle, the spear, the rapid fire mortar, the FE, and the Wrangler.
I coded
pistol.
that back.
He coded that.
I felt proud.
Which he eventually coded. So and the jetpack.
That
jetpack.
Yeah, so and I just remember this like one day I'm like, yo dude, I'm redesigning Jaden Inc. I'm like,
alright, cool, let's do this.
cool, I was up on it. I'm like, and the gameplay changed dramatically.
So it went from a game that was sort of,
a huge map scale, the like Convoy, the original, not the Convoy you saw in the first trailer. I've got all the old maps on my laptop, so
I will show renders them and stuff.
But the middle Convoy took you 8 minutes to drive around the entire map. This is like a battlefield-sized map.
Maybe even a little bigger.
Maybe a bigger. It was a big.
These were huge maps in the game, but we like a few besides gameplay. The reasons we decided gameplay was the biggest one, but the other reasons we decided to is it was virtually impossible to detail them nicely. So as you can see in the game right now, we've got lots of, not this trailer, but in the game right now you've got grasses, flowers, little rocks. Especially on the Forge maps, you've got meshes pretty much everywhere that show this is an industrial place. You wouldn't be able to do that on old Convoy because it was just so big. It would take you as long as it would to make the map normally just to detail it.
So we had to cut down the maps, and gameplay changed dramatically with this new element we added called
the cause.
The cause. If you know what a coremonger is, something.
You little coremonger.
Yeah, exactly. I got this new ambition, and I started Dakota sent me traps. In map design. I started getting new programming. I got some skills, did some base drafts, sent them over to him. He taught me how to do the core. So basically, as he described it, I made the child. He put the beauty on it, put the makeup on it. So basically, I got more accustomed with map design because he showed me how to do it, and I made all of the Druid maps because that was just I made Shaft, and Shaft is probably
Shaft is probably one of I think it's my favorite. Oh no, Convoy is my favorite map. I'd have to say.
Convoy is
Which yours?
The funny thing about Convoy is it was my original idea because when I first ever started.
Actually, Convoy was my idea.
Actually.
Was it?
Actually. When I very
just the name was my idea.
The name was his idea, but when we very started, I had a map that had this little trench in it and a bridge going across it, and that's all it was. And I said, wouldn't this be a cool idea for a map? And Dakota's like,
Convoy, make it a little bit.
So that's how Convoy got into the game.
Fun fact, Convoy was originally supposed to have trucks on it. Yeah, I'm not modeling that.
No. So yeah, we went through a big redesign phase, and we started getting the weapons, the maps together, the guns, and then we faced another problem.
What was that? So that was right. My hard drive fried itself in my computer, which sounds a lot worse than it actually was. I had everything saved to my external, which is...
And I had the backup files, which he didn't have.
The problem is we didn't need backup files, because everything was on my external.
Oh, and I remember you asking for some things though, so...
Oh, yeah. So
we did have some things...
That was from the old crash.
Yeah, so anything that we had, that we kind of had some backup, so we had someone to pick up and leave off. And, we didn't want to be associated with tool locks anymore.
So I think I wrote this down. To represent our ruthless ambition to rise from the ashes, we decided a more fitting name for our studio was Abominable Studios.
Sounded like if we could call it Phoenix Studios. When you said Rise from the Ashes.
Yeah, but Phoenix was the imaginary company in Primal Carnage. I don't want to be associated with that anymore.
So yeah, Jaden Inc took a massive
The gameplay took a massive hit, and I like to think that was for the better.
It did. We cut out vehicles. Like I said, the Decimator had to get cut out. It just didn't. Because the Decimator was our anti-tank weapon. We still have some vehicles in some of the older builds that we can launch up and still have a test. But if we were to play them,
there's some stuff.
They just don't work.
There's some stuff in the code we never actually mentioned in this video, and I don't think we should. We like keep people guessing.
We used to have like a Titanfall, like Mega, and though that would have been fun, like we play tested it, and it was fun for the first time, but then it was like this thing just doesn't suit gameplay wise because
might have been because we had a city map that was like this wide.
It might have worked, might not have. What's done is done.
We're sort of rambling right now, but so we should basically what happened was my computer's hard drive fried itself. Basically like it just meant the development had to be halted until I got a new computer, which you can sort of see behind me. Actually, you can't. It's the same monitor, but because all I had left was a laptop that had half a screen. We couldn't really do any more development at the time, so we went on hold. Jaden was able to do stuff, but we sort of put the whole thing on hold until I got my new PC.
And then we
went hell for leather. It took us about a month, and we had the game in a state we were ready to distribute as a beta.
We also are year 11 students, so we had a lot of assignments. So we were in hell of a lot of stress because we had a deadline that we wanted to meet.
I think I cried a few times.
Oh god, we were under so much. Because you also got friendship issues as well. We had friendship assignment issues, we had this game issues, we had sometimes stuff with the great
He had relationship issues, I didn't because I'm... Let's move on.
So yeah, we did it, and eventually, the stronger our stress got, we had a lot of clashes. Because we were brought together, because we're best friends, we're pretty much spending most of our time of our lives together. Like when we're not with each other, we're in person, we're talking on Skype or something, and things were getting cut from the game, and we were just clashing, but and we would take ourselves back, come back, solve them, and come to this.
We figured out how to solve it.
But it went down, it went crash, and on the lot.
I think we may have been crashing ourselves upwards, so that's kind of a bad way of putting it.
Oh.
Like, our spirits were going down, but the game itself was going up.
We were because we were putting our hearts in the game, we were pretty much, the game was going up, but
This is my baby!
Our spirits for each other were going down. Like, on the very last week of the last 2 weeks of development, we hit a massive, road bump in our friendship, and we
had so many fights.
We just went, we didn't want to be friends. I was on the Jaden Inc release night, I was invited to a party which I kind of needed to go to, because
You just got drunk and felt people up.
I was feeling very depressed, and I wanted to kind of feel...
Actually, I do understand now.
I just needed to, go out and, experience another good time with some different mates. But Dakota ended up going to a party too.
I was depressed because I never got invited to parties, and then I got invited to one. I was like, yay!
But yeah,
people like me.
We had huge clashes because we also released a beta, and it was also the first time that we were open for criticism. And
we didn't get a lot of it.
We got some positive. We got a lot of
positive feedback. We got
But then we got dicks bombarding our game, and I didn't handle it. He took it bad, and I can understand why.
Basically, the way I deal with it was this.
Yeah, it did hurt, because that's all negative criticism. We kind of strung past this, but we stuck by our views, because people were like, you had vehicles in your older builds of the game that I played, and I'm like, well, vehicles didn't work, mate, and was your other a non-working game? And people said, you don't have option menus in the beta release.
Oh god, the option menus!
Well, the people don't understand that we're just two 16-year-old kids.
We're kids. And leave us alone.
We were broken by the last weeks of development, but about 3 days before November 1st was the day that we were scheduled to release it, and I think what happened was we were so broken that we needed each other to be happy again, to make us feel better. And we kind of like we came together. We are brothers, and we came together, and we so close to this game being finished, and we stuck together. And then on Friday was the night before we released. It was meant to be.
I had a nice surprise plan for Jay.
Well, first, we went to the movie on the Friday. We got ourselves back together. Like, we had a great day. Like, it was just like, and then it was like, I'm going to Dead Famine, and Dead Famine was a school movie presentation, and I'm sitting with a bunch of my mates. Dakota's up there running it, the movie thing, and I'm sitting there with a bunch of my mates watching the big screen, and the next minute, the Jaden Inc trailer for Dead Famine comes on, and I yell at the top of my lungs, I'm now apparently British, that's my game! And I just was over excited. Like, I didn't give a two shits about the movie. I couldn't get over the fact that was my game. And when I saw Dakota, I ran up and gave him like, that was our game. But to me, it was just like...
It's like, holy shit, I made that. Why does it look good?
Yeah, it's like, holy crap, like, from grade 8, our ambitions were to make a game. And we did it, and it took us forever. And that trailer was just kind of signaling of a great night, and we both came back and we were just like so happy, and we were like, yeah, we were just happy. And then we released the game and all the maps were done. I was going through, I'm like, oh my god, you fixed this up, this is great. Yo, I can turn off the lighting so my crap laptop can actually run it.
It was the one command that actually works. We'll patch it.
We'll patch it
eventually.
3 years from now. But that'll take us 3 years to get the patch done.
Probably.
But yeah, but the journey itself was a roller coaster ride.
Symbolized greatly by the roller coaster rides we actually went on the last day of development.
Superman Escape.
Superman.
Right, we had our highest highs and we had our lowest lows, and our friendship.
Shitload of loops in between.
Our friendship was tested extremely, and there is a saying that I once heard that said, 2 friends should never go into business together. And I think
we both discovered why that's right and why that's wrong.
Why? Because we've had a blast during. Sure, we're gonna have our shit times, but I mean, I would happily into the future. We can go into a little bit of what we've got planned for the future here. I can happily say that I'm happily working with this man for many years to come from now on. I will be in this room developing games.
Maybe not this room.
Maybe
like a real office. If anyone wants to fund us.
Do you want to say anything about your ambitions?
Well, I think we're taking a break from game development for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm taking a break from
Working
hardcore game development.
He's just going a little bit soft. I'm working.
I'm just getting away from him for a bit. It's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
Well, why should we go straight back to making games? We should take a break. I mean, but we have plans. It's not the end of Vulnerable. We're gonna be around.
You'll see us around.
We're 2 good mates who wanted to make a game, and we made a game. We finished a game. We stuck together. It worked. The game wasn't broken. We proved our friendship was strong. I think our friendship was, though this game developed a hell lot, I think our friendship was the best thing to come out of this game, because I bet you in your life you'll never see 2 good as us 2. I'm not saying that it's like a brag.
I think you guys are better friends than us. Bullshit. It's a lot like when you hear stories about how you should never renovate a house with your partner, because if anyone watches renovation TV shows, it always ends in fights.
In this game had plenty of fights, but there was just something between us that kept us going. That when we had
It's called fear of failure.
Yeah, but we stuck with this game, and that's a feat. I mean, we've changed many games in the past, and when this one was the one that we did do.
You want to drink?
Do you want to drink? I'll toast you.
So we got plans for the future. Got a couple of game ideas lined up. Nothing we want to really talk about too much right now.
Yeah, because
just prepare for Viva la Revolution.
Yes. Until next time.